So if somebody's watching this and they're struggling with money, I guarantee if you go back to the first 7-10 years of your life and you go look at how you were raised, whether your parents, your grandparents, your aunt and uncle, your cousins, whatever, however you were raised, that program of not having enough money started there. But 95% of our day is run by a program or a paradigm. Now think about this. That means only 5% of our day from the average person. And I'm talking to the elite achievers here. I want to talk to you as well. I want you to look at your day and think, how much of your day are you spending on really looking at how you behave? Really looking at, am I spending 5% or 20% of my day on my wishes, dreams, and hopes? The average person spends 5%. And this is where we got to go look and observe, what are those programs that are running me if I'm going to change my behaviors? You know, I've had times where I've looked, a couple weeks ago, I said, wow, I really procrastinated the little things. Like the things that I give priority to, I wasn't procrastinating on. And that's when I knew that's the program I want to change. So how did I change it? I wrote it on a piece of paper, I recorded it, and I listened to it for 10 minutes in the evening right before I go to sleep and 10 minutes in the morning. And now I'm putting intention on it, so I'm aware of the program. And I'll give you a little cheat code on how to find your programs. At the end of the day, ask yourself, where did I excel today? And really look at those. Now, most of those are already part of your program, so it's automatic. Then ask yourself, where did I fail during the day? And I encourage you to fail every day. A lot of people listen to this and they'll have a real bad reaction to it. But if you look at a rocket going to the moon, it's failing itself all the way to the moon. Well, as humans, we're always planning. The old paradigm is, I need to be perfect all the time. I don't want to fail. Listen, failing is part of winning. You have to be willing to lose to win. So look at these behaviors and say, where did I fail today? Okay, well, then start and change that by behaving like the opposite of what the program is. And then I already told you to record it and just let it go and then walk into that new person. You're never going to behave a certain way until before you're ready, you do it. You literally got to walk in and be intentional and really rehearse and see yourself like an athlete. If an athlete is trying to improve their craft, they're watching themselves and visualizing themselves already hitting a baseball or shooting a basketball or throwing a football or sprinting. Well, that's what we want to do. We're mental athletes, and we've got to really put attention on our behaviors. As we change our behavior, the result's going to change. Every day I sell ideas because I can't help somebody until I sell them. And if you're going to create significant financial wealth, that means you've got to really believe in the product you are selling. You've got to get really good with having a great presentation, and you've got to live that product. It doesn't matter what the product is. It could be an idea. It could be something that is a service. It doesn't matter, but you have to master salesmanship. You know, my mentor, Bob, always told me, he said, nothing happens until somebody sells something. And he changed it for me. I remember one time, it was a Sunday morning, we were at an event. Bob and I just started working together at this time. And it must have been 7:30 in the morning. And he came to me and he said, well, what did you sell today? And I started laughing. I thought he was joking. And I said, well, it's a Sunday. And he says, no, you have to sell every day. You have to make selling part of your paradigm. He says, you want to get to the point where you get this bad itch when you're not selling. Well, what he did was he got me to understand from his paradigm, from his mindset, that selling has to be a top priority. And I want you to think about anything that has improved your life, whether it was the best massage you've ever had, or whether it was the best movie you went to. You're buying a ticket. You're buying that service. Or if it's the best resort you stayed at, or you have a book that you just fell in love with, well, that's sales. So anybody sitting there, you want to master salesmanship and be an absolute professional salesman or woman, because that is what's going to create not just wealth, it's going to create this psychic income, this fulfillment. I am so in love with doing it. I am so in love with what I do because I know if somebody works the ideas, how much it changes their life. This is for all my people out there who have really worked hard. They've read the books, went to the seminars, listened to the audios, and it doesn't work. And I could relate to you. For 3 years, I spent, I don't know, anywhere between $32,000, $35,000, $37,000, created no results. And I almost gave up. And I remember I had a call with my mentor, and he said to me, he said, if it took you $1 million to get to me, it was worth it. And that, I still didn't accept that idea. I just wanted to find something that worked. And I know you're sitting out there saying, I don't mind doing the work, I just want to find something that works. What my advice for you is, don't just be buying programs, make sure you're committed to doing the work. I realized for me, I would do what was comfortable to my self-image. I did what I didn't resist. Like I would do the work that didn't take me out of my comfort zone. I would love watching the material. I'd love reading the articles or reading the books. But I kept coming from a state of not having it. And I guarantee if you're sitting there, you're letting the outside control you that literally paralyzes you because you are trying to make this perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Your intent has to be perfect. You want to have your goal as your best accountability partner. And when our goal is our best accountability partner, we're thinking, feeling, and acting from the goal. And what I would tell you is make a decision, and an irrevocable committed decision, that you're going to do exactly what your mentor tells you to do. Do exactly what the book tells you to do, not what you're comfortable with. And get really emotionally involved with your goal. Fall in love with your goal. And as you do that, you're going to overtake the paradigm, and your desire is going to be so much stronger that's going to drive you. And if you're sitting there right now doing the work and you notice that you're passive, you're timid, you don't have a desire, I promise you. Desire has enthusiasm. It's like a rocket that takes off. It's a fuel. And that's what you want to remember. But I will tell you, I can relate to you, but I also can look back and say, what was I doing then that I did different when it changed? And for me, it was I fell in love with the process of getting better. Number two, I came from the state of having it. I just imagined that I was already there because we have to meet our goal in the middle. My next goal, the goal I'm working on right now, if I come from a state of not having it, looking for signs, wondering where it is, I'm separate from it. I'm going to keep attracting what I'm in harmony with. So really get involved and find the right mentor. Don't just find anyone. Find somebody who has proven results, who's already doing what you want to do, who's demonstrated it. And you know if they've demonstrated it because you can tell when somebody is real or somebody who is a fraud and somebody who's faking it, because the truth always resonates. It's just deep inside of us. See, we're spiritual beings on the physical plane. Our spiritual side is the highest form of what we have. Our physical side is the lowest. Yet most people are letting the results, the physical, dictate who they are. So I want you to fall in love with yourself, fall in love with the process of getting better, and really keep going, keep persisting. I've never achieved any goal that I didn't have to have significant persistence. You never get married to somebody else's goal. You never get married to somebody else's standard. You create your own standard. You could borrow somebody else's, but it's got to be unique to what you want. What do you really want? If I'm involved in somebody else's goals, as it is my own, it's not going to be authentic. You want to really ask yourself, what do you want to do? How do you want to live? We have one life. This life is about contribution. And we have got to, that's how we step into our power when we start contributing. You know, I love the idea of contribution. You know, this idea absolutely changed my life. And I will share it with you. One of the best pieces of advice I ever learned, it was from John Wooden. And he said, find somebody every day that you give unconditionally, where you expect nothing in return, where you know they can't give you anything in return. As you do that, you're going to live the number one key to success, which is the impression of increase, which is leaving everyone better off than you found them. And all you're going to do is draw abundance to you. But you absolutely give willingly, and you receive with an open heart. You receive so graciously. I would love for you to go subscribe on my YouTube channel. I have clients who've spent hundreds of hours on just my YouTube channel. There's great information, great direction, and it will make a big difference.